Big road trip coming up for the team, and it all starts tonight. If we can set the tone with the win here, it'll make a huge difference. The team's ready, and I know I'm ready. So I guess the next step is to just get out there and get it done. I feel like this one's on me, though. So time to earn my stripes.
The Bucks continue their journey as they play an interconference matchup on the road. The excitement of the NBA is on the way. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony, and on the sideline tonight, Doris Burke. You look at the Lakers. They just haven't been able to buy a break lately. 5 of their last 6 games have been losses.
Well, in this league, the road is always tough on the team, Kevin, and anytime...
First quarter, we're about 3.5 minutes in. Lakers were awful in a lot of aspects last season, and their play at home was a major one. Greg, they just couldn't do anything at home, and I think the fans were giving up hope as well.
And given how pricey those Laker tickets are, Kevin, there was a lot to be salty about in Lakerland. So can't be a bottom dweller and charge that much for seats.
Lakers trail by 5. Now let's go over to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Byron Scott.
Yes, Kevin, he told me that when you're playing against a team that can finish inside as efficiently as this team does, they don't want to allow any looks easily on the interior. He said if they can limit them in that department, they'll be in good shape.
And as always, Doris, thank you. Now, here's Clarkson. Antetokounmpo defending. Huertas passes to Clarkson. 6 to shoot. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. It goes on Giannis Antetokounmpo.
And Jason Kidd has seen a lot of things in his first few years of coaching. Already changed teams once and had some personnel issues, but you cannot deny that he knows how to get the most out of his teams.
O.J. Mayo is checked in for Milwaukee. And both free throws good for Clarkson. And with Kidd, the results on the floor, Greg, speak for themselves. He knows what he wants out of his players, Clark, and he keeps them accountable.
And, you know, having that accountability is what made the Bucks so much better last season. Kidd is still a very young head coach, but I tell you what, he's shown me a bright future in that capacity for himself.
And Plumlee kicks to Allen. The Bucks need to get a shot off here. They get it back. Here's Plumlee. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. While we've got a moment, let's now take a look at the teams that had the most second-chance points on the season. In fourth, the Bucks.
One of the better rebounding teams in the league, especially on the offensive end. They never take that for granted in terms of whether the shot's going in.
That free throw, no good.
And in college, guys, Miles Plumlee had an unusual competitor at his position. It was his younger brother, Mason. I mean, they actually had to compete against one another for playing time.
Well, Greg, going back to those Plumlee brothers you were talking about, there is competition. And then, Clark, there's this friendly rivalry that'll always exist.
Yeah, the brotherly competition, if you will. They have similar bodies and share some of the same attributes as well. Drafted in back-to-back years, both toward the end of the first round. Yeah. A lot of parallels.
A lot of similarities, you're right. The shot's good from Henson.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the boards.
And even this early, that's a good omen for the rest of the game.
Williams missing again.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. And Henson sends it back. And that one good from Clarkson. We've got 13 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. Here's Allen. Henson with the screen. It's Allen with the drive. And here's Freak on his experience as a one-and-done college player. Well, with more and more freshmen, Clark, making the jump to the pros, we can expect to hear more stories like this, I'm sure.
Well, without question, Kevin, that's the case and the landscape that we find ourselves in. But, there's something to be said for developing all 4 years in college when that's the best route.
And Los Angeles. Robert Sacre and Lewis Williams subbed in for Bryant. Allen's checked in for Milwaukee. We've got Lewis Williams. Julius Randle is out there with Larry Nance. Then there's World Peace, and it's Russell in at the point guard position. That's who's in the game for the Lakers.
That shot becomes effortless for him when the D is so relaxed. They've got to get more intense.
The Milwaukee Bucks ended last season 41 up and 41 down, a perfect 500 mark, and they were the epitome, Clark, of average at the end of the season, and as you can see, even during it.
Well, they're a young team, but at one point, 17-17, also had an 11-11 record against the East and 6-6 against the West.
And in the second quarter, a little under 3.5 minutes played already. Williams attacking. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two. Well, Lou Williams won the Sixth Man Award last year, Clark, in the NBA. He's not a playmaker, although he kind of plays that position a little bit. This guy scores the ball very well coming off the bench.
He really does. I mean, he looks like a guard because of his size, but he's truly an explosive scorer. And that's the strength of his game, and that's who he is and what he does.
Here's what Milwaukee's going with right now. Miles Plumlee's checked in for Monroe. Henson comes in for Jabari Parker. And Jared Bayless subbed in for Carter Williams. And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Well, Kev, Freak in the last matchup against the Warriors provided a nice lift. He had 11 points, and in addition to his scoring, he also came away with a season high for rebounds. He was just too much to handle as he came off the bench to turn in a great outing, guys. They hope it continues.
All right, Doris. Well, guys, coming off a performance like that has got to have him supremely confident right now.
No doubt. I guarantee he comes into today's game feeling there isn't anything he can't do on the floor right now.
Tell you what, Greg, I think he might be right based on that last game. I'm inclined to agree with him.
And when you look at Lou Williams, he's always had a shooting guard skill set in kind of a point guard's body. Now, he's not just a long-range bomber. He will attack the basket and earn his share of trips to the foul line, and that's where he's really deadly, 86% from the stripe last season.
Allen outside. They need this. Here's Plumlee, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Quick hands and the ability to anticipate the opening to create a turnover, so valuable, especially for a guard, as we see 2 tremendous talents with their ability to steal that ball